Every travel channel you've watched has told you the same thing. Every frequent flyer blog. Every savvy person you've ever sat next to on a plane. Carry on only. Never pay the bag fee. 22 pounds beats 50 every single time. That advice is right. And it is also incomplete. The part that's missing is what's actually costing some of you money every time you fly, and in a couple of cases, something you can't get back with a refund. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You've been flying for 40 years. You've done this math. The fee is real, the savings are real, and you didn't need a YouTube video to tell you that checking bags costs money. Fair. I'm not going to argue with any of that. What I want to show you is what happens around the fee. The 3 or 4 things that most people have never had anyone explain to them, and once you see them, the decision looks entirely different. I'm Jess, 16 years as a flight attendant, and what I kept noticing, not just once, but over and over, was experienced travelers making this exact call the same way every single trip, regardless of what their route, their fare class, or their credit card benefits actually called for. The rule they were using was never designed to be complete. Nobody told them that. Nobody told them there were 4 specific questions that make the right answer surface on their own, every time. By the end of this, you'll have those 4 questions, and you'll wonder why nobody handed them to you 15 years ago. Here's how most people make this decision. They know that checking a bag costs somewhere between $30 and $40 on most domestic U.S. flights. They do the math, 10 trips a year, and you're looking at $600 or $700 in fees. And they decide, carry on only. That thinking is sound, and the travelers who've landed there aren't wrong. The problem isn't the math. It's the 4 things the math doesn't include. The first one most people have never stopped to check. And when I tell you what it is, you may want to open your credit card's website before this video is over. Several major airline credit cards, sometimes called co-branded cards because they're tied directly to a specific carrier, include the first checked bag free. Not just for you, but for the companions booked on the same reservation. The Delta SkyMiles American Express Gold and Platinum, the United Explorer card, the American Airlines City Advantage card, the Alaska Airlines Visa. If you fly one of those airlines regularly and carry one of those cards, your checked bag may already be a benefit you've been paying for every year and never using. Here's how to find out. Log into your credit card's benefits page. Look for a section called Travel Benefits or Card Benefits and see what's there. If you're not sure which of your cards to check, call the number on the back and ask, does my card include free checked bags with any airline? 5 minutes. I have watched too many people pay a fee that their own card would have covered. If you reach the check-in counter and they try to charge you anyway, here's what you say. Swap the bracket for the name of the airline you're flying. I have the airline co-branded card linked to my account. The first bag should be waived. Can you pull up my account and verify that? Gate agents can see those card benefits in the booking system. They don't always check on their own, but when you say it directly and calmly, they look. If the benefit is there, the fee disappears. I do want to be honest about something. This works most cleanly if you fly one airline consistently enough that their card makes financial sense. If you spread your flying across different carriers depending on price and route, no single co-branded card solves it. But if you haven't checked, check first. You might find out there's no decision to make at all. If this is useful to you, the kind of thing nobody volunteers at the counter, subscribe. New video every week. Let's keep going. The second place the carry-on strategy stops working is on international routes. And this one catches people off guard in a specific way. On domestic U.S. flights, the major carriers don't enforce carry-on weight limits. There's no scale at the boarding door. If the bag fits the size requirement, it flies. That's why the strategy feels so reliable, because domestically, it usually is. The moment you're on an international route, the rules change significantly. Lufthansa limits economy carry-ons to 8 kilograms. That's about 17.5 pounds. Air France enforces 12 kilograms. Many carriers out of Asia cap at 7. A number of international carriers land at exactly 10 kilograms, which is 22 pounds. And that's the number in the title of this video for a reason. And here's what makes it worse. Many of those same international tickets, particularly transatlantic routes, A lot of trans-Pacific routes already include one free checked bag in the fare. The traveler who's refused to check a bag for 15 years ends up at an international gate paying an excess carry-on fee, while the bag they deliberately didn't bring would have flown free. Before any international booking, ask this exact question. What is the carry-on weight allowance for my route? And how many checked bags are included with my fare? Ask it when you book, by phone, by chat, not at the departure gate. The gate is not where you want to find this out. The third thing is domestic, and it catches people off guard because the carry-on strategy is supposed to protect against exactly this. On a full domestic flight, and most domestic U.S. flights run full, passengers in the last boarding groups face a real probability the overhead bins are already taken by the time they reach their row. When that happens, the gate agent gate checks the bag, takes it at the boarding door, and loads it below the plane, same as a checked bag. It goes in the cargo hold. You pick it up at baggage claim. The traveler who packed carefully and chose carry-on specifically to skip that weight ends up at the carousel anyway. Who it hits most often? Basic economy passengers, travelers without airline loyalty status, and anyone whose credit card doesn't include early boarding. Those are also the travelers most financially motivated to avoid the checked bag fee. The strategy fails most predictably for the people who need it most. After check-in, before you're anywhere near the airport, look up your boarding group in the airline's app or your confirmation email. If you're in the final group on a route you know runs full, factor that in before you decide how to pack, not after. That's what's hiding inside the math most people think they've already finished. But the stakes go further than fee calculations. And what I'm about to describe is something I watched happen more times than I should have, and never once got used to. The fee most travelers are trying to avoid runs $30 to $40. The fee that can appear without warning is $100 more on top of that, triggered the moment a checked bag goes 1 pound over 50. On most major carriers, a bag between 51 and 70 pounds triggers a separate overweight charge, right on top of whatever the bag already cost. The travelers who get hit by it aren't the ones who packed recklessly. They're the ones who estimated. A portable luggage scale prevents this entirely. They run about $12, weigh almost nothing, and live in the bag. Use one before the last thing goes in, and again before the return flight. The target is 45 pounds, not 50. That 5-pound buffer covers the airport's scale variance and whatever you're definitely bringing home. If you're already at the counter and you're a pound or two over, it's worth trying this once. I'd like to ask about this calmly before you apply the overweight charge. Is there any flexibility here? One ask, politely, then let it go. I have to be honest, this is completely at the agent's discretion. I've seen a small overage get waived, and I've seen it not get waived, but it costs nothing to ask once. There's also something Southwest flyers specifically need to know. For years, Southwest's identity was built on 2 free checked bags for every passenger, no conditions. Travelers chose them for exactly this reason. In 2024, that policy ended. Free bags are now tied to higher fare tiers, Business Select and Anytime fares, and to A-List preferred status. Most standard Southwest fares now carry a checked bag fee. If you've been making travel decisions on the assumption that your bags go free on Southwest, that assumption needs to be updated before your next trip. Everything I've talked about so far is about money. What comes next isn't. I want to tell you about a woman I'll call Margaret. Early 70s, window seat, full flight out of Chicago. She'd done carry-on only for 30 years. She had it down. Bag sized right, well within the rules, about 22 pounds. The bins above her row were full. The nearest open space was 2 rows back. She lifted the bag, got it to about chest height, and her shoulder gave out. Not a catastrophic injury, but enough that she couldn't raise her arm above her head for the rest of that flight. A flight attendant helped her with the bag, her seatbelt, everything she needed for the next 4 hours. "I'm so sorry," she said at some point. "I don't know what happened." She did not need to apologize. Her bag was $35 to check. She had done everything right by every rule she'd been given. She still got hurt. Not because she made a mistake, but because nobody had ever told her the rule didn't account for those full bins, and what her shoulder could do on that particular travel day. I don't say this to worry anyone. I say it because nobody at the airline is ever going to factor your physical reality into their advice. They don't know about your shoulder. They don't know what day 5 looks like for your back. You have to account for that yourself. If there is any uncertainty at all about overhead lifting, check the bag. Checking your bag is not losing. It is a service. It costs money. Sometimes it is exactly the right call. I don't work for an airline anymore. That's why I can say that to you. If this is useful to you, the kind of thing nobody says at the counter, subscribe. Every week, something else they won't volunteer. So here are the 4 questions. Run them before every trip, in order. First, is my bag fee already covered? Check your credit card benefits before you open the suitcase. 5 minutes. If yes, the financial argument for carry-on disappears. Make the rest of the decision based on convenience and your body. Second, what are the actual rules for this specific route? Domestic U.S. Carry-on weight is typically unenforced. Focus on your bag's size and your boarding position. International, limits apply, and they vary. And a free checked bag may already be included in your fare. The question to ask at booking: what is the carry-on weight allowance for my route? And what bag allowance is included with my fare? Write it down before you pack anything. Third, what boarding group will I have? And how full is this flight likely to be? Look this up after check-in, not at the airport. If you're in the final group on a route that runs full, decide in advance. Pay to move your boarding position if that option exists on your airline, or accept the gate check risk and plan around it. Don't let the gate be a surprise. And fourth, the one nobody talks about. Can I manage this bag through the entire trip? Not at home, where you lift it from standing height and feel fine. At the connection airport. On the hotel stairs. At row 24 on day 5. If the answer involves any uncertainty, check the bag. You're not losing. You're choosing a service that protects your body and your trip. That's a good decision. 4 questions. They replace a rule of thumb that was never designed to be complete with an actual decision. One that fits your trip, your route, and you. The airlines distilled this decision down to one number: the bag fee. And let it feel like the only thing that matters: 22 pounds or 50, fee or no fee, winner or loser. It was never that simple. The real picture has 4 variables, and for too long, only one of them was clear to the people making the trip. Now all 4 are. Here's what you're walking away with. A lot of travelers are paying checked bag fees that their credit cards would cover if they just checked. Carry-on weight limits that feel like a non-issue on domestic flights become real and expensive on international routes, where, more often than not, a checked bag was already included in the fare. Boarding late on a full flight makes the carry-on strategy unreliable, regardless of how well you packed. An overweight bag costs 3 times what you were trying to save. Southwest changed. And the physical weight of managing a bag overhead on day 5 of a trip is a cost that nobody at the check-in counter is going to account for on your behalf. You don't need to apply all of this at once. Pick the one that surprised you most and use it on your next trip. That's enough to start. Before you get on another flight, 3 things worth doing. Log into your credit card's benefits page and look for travel benefits. Find out whether a free checked bag is already sitting there. If you have an international trip coming up, call the airline before you book and ask, what is the carry-on weight allowance for my route? And how many checked bags are included with my fare? And the next time you check in for a domestic flight, look up your boarding group before you leave for the airport. Know your situation before you get there. The rule of thumb served a lot of people for a long time. But a rule of thumb is a shortcut. What you have now is the whole picture, 22 pounds or 50. You'll know which one is right before you ever open the suitcase. Right there on your screen is something that connects directly to this. Take a look.